Greetings family and welcome. 3 African women scientists who made a great contribution in their field. Let's start it. But before, if you have not subscribed to my channel, click the button below. Okay, let's start it. So I'm gonna start with Jane Wright. Jane Wright here was a surgeon and a cancer researcher. She became a doctor in 1945 and worked with her father at the Harlem Cancer Research Foundation. She is highly credited for her contribution in chemotherapy, as she was a pioneer to develop this treatment. She also developed several medical treatment and technical skills to cure breast cancer and skin cancer, and she saved millions of lives. She was also co-founder of the American Society of Clinical Oncology among 7 other physicians, and she was the only woman. She also worked in Africa, in Ghana, and in Kenya during the 50s and the 60s to treat cancer patients, and she saved a lot of people. She retired in 1985 and passed in 2013. She was awarded many times. She developed techniques which are still saving a lot of life today. Fatoumata Kebe is an astrophysicist from Mali. She was born in 1985 in Paris and she grew up in Paris. Her work focused on space pollution and cleaning space from spatial debris. She studied mechanics in France and she gained a PhD in modeling fragmentation event in 2016. She was trained at the University of Tokyo for 1 year and she also did an internship at NASA. She launched a project called Connect Eco with women in Mali to protect the environment from over-farming. She also founded Ephemerid, which is a program that provides astronomy classes to children from 12 to 15 in 4 colleges in Paris and also in Bamako. And after all of this, at only 34 years old, she also found the time to write a book, which is called La Lune est un roman, meaning the moon is a story, in which she talks about the mystery of the moon, its legend, its myth, and its stories. And finally, Cres Welsing. Cres Welsing was an African-American psychiatrist. She focused on work on healing African-American from the injustice system of racism, white supremacy, and she also gave a lot of conferences, a lot of speeches to analyze and describe this unjust system. In 1970, she published her first essay, which was The Cres Theory of Color Confrontation, which was just an introduction of the publication of her book, published 20 years later, the ISIS paper, which was a compilation of all of her essays in which she addresses issues such as drug use, teen pregnancy, murder, unemployment, mass incarceration in the black community. And she claimed that all this problem was a direct consequence of the system of white supremacy by people who classify themselves as white to gain control and power over people they consider as non-white. According to her, people who classify themselves as white are direct descendants of the first African albinos who left Africa or were just from Africa and populated the European continent. Because of their genetic annihilation, they created a system of racism, white supremacy to maintain their genetic survival. And this is her definition of racism, which is a definition that I gave also in my 2 previous videos about racism. She dedicated most of her life to fight this unjust system, to fight the system of racism, white supremacy. She died in 2016 at the age of 80. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and see you next time. Bye.